Hey, everybody, welcome to Headliners on the Headlines. I am your guest host, Yayni Abeba, and I am very excited for the panel today. We have Jim Farrell, Matt Weinhold, and Ngaio Bealum, and we are going to talk about the current events. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
My God, I'm tripping because I tapped out for a week. I had to tap out. It's just too much. And I didn't even know where I wanted to go with this episode, you guys, because there is so much crazy.
Always.
I don't know how y'all are feeling about it.
What do the Germans call it? Weltschmerz. The weight of the world is very heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well said. Yeah. I want to hide.
My doctor, I went in for a checkup and my doctor's like, how you feel? Are you depressed or anything? I'm like, I'm not personally depressed, but the state of this planet is causing me some agita.
Yeah.
And some problems. Like me, myself, I'm fine, but I'm like, God.
I can only describe how I feel in the terms of a famous horror movie called The Brood. And this is a David Cronenberg movie where you remember this movie? Yeah. It's like when people feel rage, it manifests itself in outward things. So like it could be polyps on your body, or in one case, creating a sac on you that gives birth to little troglodyte blonde-haired weirdos who are murderous, and I feel like I'm one step away from that. Like it's gonna happen. Next thing you know, I'm gonna have tiny people jumping out of my abdomen and hitting the streets.
Wasn't that episode of the Brady Bunch?
Yes. Yes, it was.
If they only did that last season, it would have been great.
Yeah, the one that's really, I mean, I'm kind of just feeling helpless. My wife is, she's having hard time because my wife is Hispanic and she has had a friend or two be detained who were legal citizens. And it's just, it's just that whole thing. I know that's not necessarily what we're talking about, but it's just this whole guilty until proven innocent. You have to prove to yourself that and she's having a hard time with it. She's afraid to go anywhere. And what's ironic is if she gets pulled over by ICE, all they have to do is ask her a question in Spanish because she doesn't even speak Spanish. So I think that's her whole card is just being not a very good Mexican. So
yeah, I'm not trying to front. Like I just did a bunch of one-nighters in like Texas and Nebraska and Kansas and all these small ass towns. And I had my passport in my pocket the whole time, just in case. Even
right.
It might not even help. They don't even really give a shit. They don't care. But, I would like to be able to argue it at least. Of course, once I reach for my passport, they're going to shoot me.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Nashville, so I walk around with my passport all the time now.
Yeah.
Especially, there's an Ethiopian who died in detention. So there's a lot of people that they're not talking about who aren't just Latino who are being detained and losing their lives because of the conditions they're in or the stress of the conditions. Now we're at a point where I'm like, I got to make sure I have my papers when I walk out.
Do you have your papers?
I have my papers.
And I feel like there won't be a turning point until like all that's horrible and clearly illegal. And the fact that it even has to go through the courts, like it's so blatantly wrong and illegal. And yet I feel like the tipping point will only come until eggs go up again. Like that's the world we live in.
It needs to touch people directly. Otherwise, I'm talking to people where I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. And they're like, yeah, but if Kamala had gotten into office, they would have let children use litter boxes in schools. And people believe that. And I'm like, they don't have enough money for glue sticks. How are they going to get the litter boxes? The rest of this?
Yeah.
I can't believe that kids are getting a litter box these days.
Yeah.
But is it pretty litter? Is it clumping litter?
Right.
What kind of litter is it?
It's the one that changes color so you can tell when kids have urinary tract problems.
Oh, okay. Well, then
they're very helpful.
For the children.
It is. Well, we've been cutting down on Medicaid and Medi-Cal, so we have to take other steps.
Yeah, we'll know when to buy them cranberry juice. Oh, wait, I don't know if the schools have budget for cranberry juice. It might have to be like imitation cranberry juice concentrate.
When your doctor is Johnny Cat, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, and we've got this administration that's just, as you said, Matt, like blatantly violating the law. And they just confirmed Emile Bove, Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, who was working in Southern District of New York. They've confirmed him as a judge. This is a guy who said "F the law" when it came to following court orders.
Right.
Said "F it,"
Right.
"F the law," and
literally said it.
Yeah, literally.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that Trump is just creating a system of judges and lawyers within the administration for his own personal agenda? And that's all that matters to him?
Yes.
That's how I feel. I mean, what do you think about the fact that he's done this?
He's creating a deeper state. And the fact that all these senators keep going along with it. I don't know if it's compromise or if it's just fear or whatever. It's just it's sad. It's sad. I mean, at least when Nixon had his problems, there were a bunch of Republicans who were like, this is BS. This is not cool. This is un-American. This is unconstitutional. We can't have corruption like this. But now all these other guys are just like, oh, yes, of course we can have this corruption. I'm also corrupt. We can do all the things as long as the billionaires still get money. And it doesn't sit well with me in my heart. And half of me just wants to move to Barcelona and be an illegal alien there and not have to deal with this problem. Yes, you can. We can get an apartment together.
I was planning
half
on.
of me is like, we have to stay and fight because America.
I was planning on Japan, and then now it's Japan first. So
yeah,
it is. You know, Japan will give you free farmland.
You can get a free house.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that we're looking into, that you can actually get, because in Japan, the land is worth more than the actual house. So you can get someplace in rural Japan because that's clearing out because everyone's moving to the city, and you can get some beautiful, quaint Japanese house. The only problem is central air, central heating, not so much a thing there.
Yeah, it's quaint.
It is very quaint. Yes.
No, you can get a place in Italy too, but you have to put a lot of work into the building. I think the problem with the judges and I think the problem is everybody in Washington's afraid of Trump.
Yeah.
Well, why?
Why? That's the question, right? What are you so afraid of?
That guy's to be mocked and ridiculed. He's not to be afraid.
Well,
it's the compromise. That's why they won't release the files. Those guys have. This is alleged, and I don't have any proof to back it up, but I'm sure they have files on just about everybody. You can ask Lindsey Graham about it. Remember when Madison Cawthorn, remember him? And he was like, those guys are full of cocaine at sex parties. And he did not last very long in Congress. He was primaried and got out of there pretty quick. So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think some of them think there's a proximity to power. For example, my lovely Senator Marcia, I've never brushed my hair, Blackburn, is going to be running for governor. And I think as long as she's loyal, she's going to become the governor of Tennessee. So I think it's a combination of compromise and people who think that they're going to gain wealth and power.
I think that's true. I really do. I think that is because one thing he has done is that all these people that he's made fun of and worked against, the minute he got power, he then gave them positions of power. And so it's like, oh, this pays off if I go along. And
unless you're black, because all the black people that were on his side right before the election,
no, they're gone.
Those guys got a cabinet position.
All out. They're all out. Well,
no, there was a black guy for urban housing and development.
Which one?
That I don't know.
Yeah, see,
exactly
that guy.
Well, that's the black job. They gave him urban housing and development. It says urban, so it's clearly for black people.
But let's not forget that. I mean, my feeling about this is that they all hate him. It's clear they must all hate him. And the minute that things change and they can get rid of him, they will, because that Marco Rubio is still called Little Marco to this day.
To his face.
To his face. Absolutely.
You see him in those cabinet meetings and he's like, I can't, why am I? Oh, you're
Wow.
like, I don't even feel sorry for him though.
No,
Like,
No, God, no.
I am the child of an immigrant, right? And I don't even understand how children of immigrants can like, who came from places where they were like, they fled authoritarian regimes, are here talking about like, yeah, as long as it's the other guy, I'm fine with the thing that my parents fled from. Like, I do not understand it at all. And I don't know, do you guys feel like the American people are in shock? And that's
well,
why?
First of all, I think this whole thing is a sad but a amazing spirit or experiment in the human condition. What people are willing to put up with. I mean, I have friends that I grew up with that are very, very right, and it's like I don't want to say that I can't hang out with them, but it's difficult. And the stuff that these guys are smart people, and the stuff that they're buying into is mind-boggling. It's just brainwashing, conditioning. I don't know what it is, but it's
racism and sexism. Obama got elected, and it tripped a switch in these cats' mind because they're all for freedom and equality as long as white men get to have power. And as soon as a black man was competent and won an election, they really freaked out and they don't know what to do. And the solution to them isn't to find a competent white person who could do it because Hillary Clinton would have been president. They just have to pick somebody.
Hillary Clinton has a vajayjay, so there's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I think that it's still.
She also has Bill Clinton's balls, but they didn't take that into account. But we'll see. We'll see.
No
because
days in the Oval Office.
These
Yeah.
Epstein files might be a turning point because people are refusing to let it go because they ostensibly want to save children unless they're being starved. And God, it's so much.
Yeah, but I don't know because all week the Trump pundits have been saying that like, oh, first of all, Mango Mussolini has been like, I have the right to pardon her, and all his little pundits and his little grifting enablers are now talking about how she is the victim.
Yes, of course.
And she should be released because she was a victim. Even though most of the girls who were victims, and there are some men who have claimed to be victims of this as well, they were young, have said that she was the first point of contact, that she was the one who brought them into this, who trafficked them, and who abused them along with Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm not really sure what this angle is, but it's almost like our society doesn't think that a woman could do this.
Not these guys.
That's not even it at all. They really want him because he ran on, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm the outsider. I'm not part of this thing. Because people do want somebody to come through and cut through the red tape and make everything simpler and cheaper. And he said he could do that, even though all of us here know that he's completely incompetent and power mad and a liar. You can't believe a single thing he says. But they wanted to believe him, right? Because he's an outsider. I'm using that in quotes. But, he showed up and it's all the status quo. Everything's more expensive than it was. Your healthcare is about to go up by a ton. And we're not going to find any of these
I went to Chanel yesterday, and the
pedophiles.
I went to Chanel yesterday, and the Chanel bag I want is $2,000 cheaper. So I'm just a little closer. So it's
$2,000 cheaper. Well, that's also a thing that's going to happen, right? Because Chanel and Gucci and those guys, they're actually having problems because if you keep making poor people, no one can afford to buy your high-end stuff.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
And Walmart's more expensive too. So, shit. Everything
people have gotten used to $15 t-shirts, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like, as soon as one thing that Americans hate is to be inconvenienced. So I feel like you up that inconvenience thing, and that's when they start going, how dare you? I mean, the egg thing, masks during COVID. God, I mean, you would think that, it was to get on a plane, you had to have an enema first. And it was.
Hey, some people could probably use that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying they should be mandatory, but some people should probably think about it.
That is my second carry-on bag.
Well, wait, Matt, if it's a medical device, it doesn't count as a carry-on, and they can allow you to actually carry on another carry-on.
That's why I bring half a pound of weed with me in a separate bag.
And the enema.
Wow, I've been paying too much then.
Yeah. I know what you've been doing, Mr. Weinhold.
I'm always the last to learn.
Yeah. Listen, I'm an expert traveler. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like everyone was warning everyone about this beforehand. It's not like it's new. I don't know, Jim. What do you think? Like, this isn't new information.
Well, I think, first of all, going back to the Maxwell being the victim, that's just part of what they do. I mean, Trump is a victim, right? And whenever somebody is, in trouble, they turn him into a victim. During all the 34 indictments, he was a victim. No one's being fair to him. During the election, no one's being fair. So that's their way to justify her release, if that's what it comes to. And I think with that is just completely, I don't know if that's a bridge too far for them, but that's pretty close. And the fact that everything has changed so much from we're going to get to the bottom of this to there is no file, to there's a file on Bondi's desk, to, it's Obama and Biden's fault. They're just the goalpost just keeps moving, and it's just it's got to run out of the field's got.
I think some of his maybe biggest supporters really aren't going to be able to let it go, because that was the big thing they signed up on, because they know that Epstein is evil and exploiting children, and they know that he didn't commit suicide. And so I think that they really can't let it go. And I'm hoping that this will be the thing. I mean, it would be nice if people could come together, because, all the Democrats, one of the arguments is always like, well, we know Bill Clinton's on that file. And all the Democrats are like, yeah, well, if he's on it, man, he should also go to jail. There's
absolutely.
It's not a debate. If he's doing bullshit, then he needs to be dealt with. But we'll see. We'll see if they can figure it out, if they can really get it together and hold it together to deal with this. Fingers crossed, but I don't trust him. And then you have to deal with JD Vance, which is a whole different can.
But I would think that jailing, you to release one of the culprits can't be helping the situation if that's the plan.
He's not helping anything. He's like, also, what did he say? I stopped working with Epstein because he stole the 16-year-old girl from my massage parlor.
Yeah. The 16-year-old girl who recently took her own life and who put on social media before that happened, if anything happens to me, I did not take my own life. Right. So there goes a whole new rabbit hole.
Yeah. So, well, they'll probably find a pizza parlor in his basement. No one remembers that.
I do, Ngaio.
Thank you, Matt. People say Stillers don't have a good memory.
I think this is the thorn that's going to stick. I think that's what's going to take him down. And if it doesn't take him down in the courts, I think it's going to affect his health so badly that he's going to have a major medical episode.
How he's still alive is also another question.
Because he gets top-notch A-grade scientists and doctors, and like he gets state-of-the-art medicine. They probably have a secret pill that helps his congestive heart failure.
Infusion every week or something. So I don't know. And he just keeps doing everything wrong, and people aren't for example, the US government just received that jet that Qatar gave him, and it's going to cost $500 million to modify it so that it's up to like security standards.
And 2 years. So by the time he's supposed to leave office, he'll get to use it once, or it's going to become his presidential library. Yeah. Probably makes sense that he's a flying presidential library, because then he can take all the evidence against him to some country that doesn't have an extradition treaty.
I mean, what surprises me is that, I don't know, maybe it's, I just am so jealous of the French, because like if their government like extends retirement age by 6 months, they're out there like burning garbage in the streets. And
Right.
Yeah.
all of these norms and all of these constitutional attacks are happening. I mean, this is illegal, receiving this jet.
Yeah.
Right. Blatantly.
Yeah. And everyone's like, okay, but the litter boxes in the schools, though.
The
You know,
French have an advantage. One, they have a cultural advantage because they've been doing this forever. And also they have an advantage because their country is a lot smaller than ours. And so for us to organize, we have to organize 100 million people. They got to organize 100,000 to cause enough problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really the general, it's, you know, the size of America is a gift and a curse.
Yeah. Yeah. You're dealing with like basically 50 different countries.
Right.
In one country. Yeah.
Right. I was just in Wyoming, Stan. Or as I like to call it, Timu, Montana.
How
And,
was
Yeah,
I've been
how's
to
it on the
Montana.
road?
you know, man, I've been a road dog since the early 90s, since maybe 1990. I first started doing the triple runs in Wyoming and Montana and Colorado, all those places. And there was some funkiness sometimes, but there was a lot of open-mindedness and a lot of just everybody's here to get along. And this last tour, and I just came off of the road like a week and a half ago, and I was in Casper, which was a cool town. Even the biker bar loved me, but I was just in some small ass town in Idaho where the bikers did not love me as much. And I noticed that the one who was carrying the gun also had an SS patch
Oh my
on
God.
his vest.
Single? Is he single? Like,
He's Serbian. His name's Dario. Tell him I said hello.
he's-
I can introduce you. And they kind of left. I didn't even say anything to him. I just said maybe open carry and a lot of drinking are the best way to have an adventure. And then a bunch of them left. And then the dude who produced the show yelled at me for walking the Nazi bikers. And I was like, bro, you can't yell at me for that. I didn't even mention the Nazi biker part. I was just like, maybe guns and alcohol in a small room aren't the best idea. And I didn't even I wasn't even casting a judgment. I was like, you can carry a gun if you want. I'm just pointing it out.
Right. Yeah.
in Tennessee, you can't bring your gun into the bar. You have to leave it in your car. So there's a whole like part of Nashville where people's cars are constantly being broken into because they leave their guns in their car and people are breaking in to get the guns.
Yeah. So now you have to put a grenade on your door. So you just put a claymore. So when someone breaks into your car, the mine goes off and they don't steal your gun, but you've
then you have a car.
killed 3 people in a storefront. Your insurance.
I mean, but that's what they get. That's what they deserve. So there's that, But I mean, speaking of alcoholics with SS patches, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, has been having serious discussions about running for governor in the state where I reside, Tennessee. I think he would have to surrender his cabinet position to do it. And he says that it's fake news, but insiders are saying he absolutely has been looking into the possibility. Bill Lee, our lovely Trump sycophantic governor here, who's just all the way up Trump's
Hulo?
Yeah.
His orange blossom.
This is his last term. I don't know what he's going to try to, he'll probably run for senator next, but
maybe they can just swap positions.
So far,
I hear the Republicans are in the swamp.
Yeah, so far in the ring, there's Marsha Blackburn and this guy who his whole platform is reforming the churches here that are abusing children. That's a huge problem here. There's a youth pastor like every other day on the news being arrested. But the drag queens, though. But so what do you guys think about? I mean, Pete Hegseth running for governor or thinking he has a chance.
Well, and I think he's going to Tennessee just because he wants to be closer to bourbon.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, he's gonna make
one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do something because he's not been the most efficient steward of the armed forces. I think I'm on his Signal account or his Grindr account. I don't know which one it is.
I'm on Grindr, but
he's got me grinding my freaking teeth. Is what he's got. Because these guys, man, they're just not competent. It's just one of those things. Like, be good at it. Like, you can't. I don't know, man. I just, and that could just be an African American thing, right? You're supposed to work twice as hard. Yeah. And these guys don't even work a third as hard or a quarter as hard.
Does that even matter anymore, though? The whole competent at your job thing? I feel like that's like a thing of the past. That's quaint.
It's quaint. It's considered archaic.
Yeah. It's like, no, you just go in there and you wreck a bunch of stuff and you pass some things and, you leave it to somebody else to clean up. Yeah, and if they complain, they're communists.
Yeah. The new thing is that if you are, it's always the revelatory moment is that if you're a white man, you can just walk in and be like, I'm a white man. And they'll be like, okay, well, here, we're going to let you run this company, even though you don't even have a high school degree, because we live in a culture. And I don't know Matt and Jim, get on the game. Come on now.
Those guys also set it up too. I mean, if we're just going to get deep into it, like, you get to be the CEO of the company and then you mess it all up and they lose millions of dollars and then they fire you, but you get millions of dollars.
Yeah.
After you get fired, you get a golden parachute. Like, yeah, you lost $2 billion, but here's $100 million to take with you as a consolation prize. I'm like, I've never had a job where I've messed up and they gave me money at the end. Like, you ruined it for everybody. Here's $50,000. Go home and think about what you've done. I've never had it. I've been fired off the set before.
We go.
That's not true. I'm a complete professional.
Yeah, we talk about his cabinet. I mean, his cabinet it has nothing to do with competency. It just has to do with loyalty, and you know, it's so. Yeah. I mean, and you go back to talking about that power, and it's like, well, no, I don't like him. I don't like him. What? I can get something for it. All right, now he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then from Trump's point of view, what it is he thinks all I need is loyalty. I can put anybody in any of these places because I'm the smartest guy and I'm the guy who has the plans for everything. So I'm running everything. It doesn't matter who's there. They're following my orders. So, it could be, a porpoise or,
a trained monkey could do what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like a trained monkey could do what he's doing.
Maybe a little better. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
screeching and raging and making inappropriate advances at people. You might be right. Maybe we should get a chimpanzee. Bonzo for president 2.0.
I know that.
But we don't need to. We have it now, right?
Fair enough.
I'm totally going to be detained and disappeared if I just keep mouthing off like this. I've accepted it. It's funny. I talked to my cousin in Ethiopia, and Ethiopia's been in a civil war, and they have like curfews and soldiers stopping people at night and asking what tribe they're from. There's been a genocide in Ethiopia for 2 years. Almost 1 million people have been unalived. I forgot what platform this is going to be on, so I'm just going to use TikTok language.
Asterisk LL asterisk D.
But it was so weird. I was talking to my cousin about what's going on here because I have to go to Ethiopia to take care of some family business. And I was like, I'm scared I won't be able to come back into the country because I pop off so much on social media. And she's like, no, it's fine. I was like, I don't even understand how someone could live with this. And she's like, you get used to it. And I'm like, I don't want to get used to it.
Don't want to get used to it.
Yeah. That's the problem.
That's the thing. I don't want it. We shouldn't have to get used to it.
Everything is becoming normalized. And
America, there's so many lies around this idea of America and the history of America. But the one thing that has maintained was at least the idea of America, that we're all going to be equal and things are going to get better. And that when you lose that, and I think that's also a little bit, it's going to be a harder job to take control of this country, at least for a while, because I think there's a good portion of us that are just ingrained with this idea of this is not what America is. And that's my hope. But, I've been
that's the
wrong
thing.
before.
Like, the thing is, That is supposed to be the hope. We're supposed to hold America up to its ideals. And the ideals is that everybody is created equal. And no matter where you come from, if you align with these ideals that we're all equal, you're an American, baby. Right? We're supposed to be the great American freaking melting pot, dog. We're supposed to be the big stew of cultural fusion. That's the whole concept. These guys don't want it. They want to take it back to 1835 or 1787, where, yeah, we're all equal as long as you're a land-owning white male. You can have all the equality you want, but everybody else has to, do what we say. And it's first of all, it's never going to happen again because it's bullshit. But it just makes it we could be so much more advanced. We could be so much farther along if we weren't letting un-American concepts get in the way of our American ideals.
Well, I think for a lot of people too, like I can't speak for you as an African American, but for me and a lot of other Black people I know, like we're talking to white people who are like, I can't believe this is happening. And we're like,
how could you not believe it?
Welcome to our world.
Did you not read anything in school? Have you not been paying attention? A lot of Latinos
are saying, I always thought that racial profiling thing that Black people complained about was BS. Which is weird because I know it's not the Latinos in San Francisco.
Listen, don't get me started
because they know.
It's not my place to say anything about how some people from Mexico can be very racist toward African Americans, which is always wild to me because we should be working together.
Oh, yeah. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's someone whispering in the ear, keeping different demographics against
turning
each other.
people against each other. Yeah.
Power,
I think
the one demographic that they're going after hardcore is homeless people and homeless people with mental illnesses for sure. Yeah. He just signed an executive order because he loves signing executive orders that are completely unconstitutional, that's aimed at removing homeless people from the streets and committing them for mental health or drug treatment without their consent, which they can't do. So they attempted to do that in the 80s in California. I remember that very well, that they tried to do that. And it went, I think, all the way up to the Supreme Court. And unless they're a harm to themselves or others, you cannot, take someone and put them in an institution against their will. And a lot of people are saying that this is similar to what they did in 1930s Germany at the beginning. Yeah. They first went after the mentally ill and the disabled.
And our country.
Listen.
Sorry?
In our country, Francis Farmer, and, the list goes on.
Yeah. It's so easy to be like, well, if you're against all this stuff, you're clearly crazy, and we're going to have to institutionalize you because you're speaking up against racism and sexism and oligarchy and kakistocracy. That proves that you are out of your natural mind. It must be dealt with.
Can I back up just a second? Because what I've been seeing a lot and having probably more friends that are more on the conservative side than maybe you guys. I don't want to speak for you, but what I've noticed is growing up, all it was Constitution. And now that they're starting to lose power, lose control, that Constitution now all of a sudden is not so important.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's get rid of it.
All of it. Let's get rid of it.
Except for the Second Amendment.
Second Amendment, you better not touch it, but everything else. Separation.
Everything else.
State, let's do it.
And you can proselytize at work now. You can be an evangelical. Listen, this is what I love the Satanists, because I'm sure that they're going to have something to say about this new rule.
Right.
The Satanists always show up for that one. They're like, one school prayer? Sign us up. You have to let us talk about Satan right now.
Yeah. Where do I put the pentagram?
Where do I put the pentagram? Let's
Next to the hopscotch.
Right.
And weren't they successful with that in Oklahoma when they
Yes.
Yeah, they were able to get their curriculum into schools because of that loophole, that window that was left open by the superintendent of schools, who was like, "Oh, I love Trump, everything Trump," who actually just got caught.
The guy who was watching porn during the staff meeting
in his office with his coworkers were uncomfortable, and he was just like, "I don't see the problem here."
Relax, guys. It's just titties.
Yeah. Don't man shame me.
So, Jim, your friends who are conservative, they're fine. Like, when you ask them, like, do you understand that the erosion of Constitution is like the erosion of freedom? How do they rationalize that?
They just justify it, I mean, but I try not to talk to these guys. I got two friends that I've known since grammar school. One of the guys retired law enforcement. He moved back to the villages in Florida. And if you ever want to go to a place where you never want to go again, it's that place.
The villages, that's the one where they have the skyrocketing STD rates because all the old people are
that's kind of a myth. But what's not a myth is that you have 150,000 people driving around in golf carts with Trump signs everywhere.
Jeez Louise.
Right.
And you guys can see what I look like. I look like I'm two accessories away from, January 6th.
Where were you on January 6th, Jim?
Yeah, we have.
I was uncomfortable there. My wife, my wife just like, no, I am not going.
Yeah.
She just flat out refuses to go. You were his best man at his wedding. I'm not going to that place.
Hey,
wow.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, the whole church thing and then the classroom, I know the separation of church and state is federal, I guess, but they just don't. Yeah, I don't know.
But ICE, I mean, these same people who are against the Constitution now were also the people who were railing against black helicopters and people being disappeared, and they're going to set up camps.
And they're going to send the military into our cities.
And they're going to send the military into our cities. And here it is happening right in front of you.
Right. And this is what the Second Amendment is supposed to be used for. Where the hell are you?
It's not happening to them. So that's why it's not a problem for them, right?
Yeah.
But as we know from Germany.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like Slave Catcher 2.0. These guys are getting bonuses for this.
Big bonuses.
So
that should be against the law.
Yeah. It is actually. If you, there are,
my bad for assuming that.
They're not supposed to be like hiring bounty hunters and all that stuff. It's completely against the law. It's against DHS policy. But I mean, they've never let the law or policy get in their way.
No.
Listen.
When it comes to like, white Christian nationalism. And I think people are really sensitive to that, right now. Like, have you seen that ad that, the actress Sydney Sweeney?
Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria.
The one who's been selling soap with her bathwater bubbles in it.
That's hilarious.
And a hole.
I don't know
There's
that
a
one.
hole in the soap, you guys.
There's a hole in the bathwater soap?
Soap. Yeah.
Wow.
Sure, it's very popular in prison.
Yeah, she just did an American Eagle denim ad where she talked about how she had good jeans. And her jeans are blue, the pun on the word jeans, and people are mad. They're saying that it's racist, that it's eugenicist, that it's about like advancing white supremacy. Have you guys seen this ad?
I have seen that.
I have not.
It's a variation on the old Brooke Shields ad from Calvin Klein jeans when she used to talk about that. She did one like that too, where she's like, it's all in the jeans. They make you who you are or whatever like that. Some jeans fade away, la, la, la. Yeah, I see that. It's, it is definitely dog whistly for sure. I think there's a lot of other things to be upset. I'm not minimizing it because it is a part of the greater whole.
If it were any other time, I could.
Yeah,
if it were any other time, I would think that it would. There could be the argument that some ad dude, I've got a good one, and wasn't thinking ahead. But now, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things too. Like, yeah, sure, jeans. It's a pun. That's a classic. Yeah. How do you tell a boy chromosome from a girl? How do you tell a boy chromosome from a girl chromosome? You pull down their jeans. This is a classic. This is like a 1983 joke.
Yeah, but
still works.
People who work in advertising today were alive in 1983.
Yeah. No, it's just one of those things. Like, you just don't have people on the staff who could be like, hey, maybe this is not the best way to do it. Like that new Stranger Things logo. Have you seen this Stranger Things logo? Stranger Things 5. So they spell Stranger Things in like a 5, right? But right in the middle, it's N-G-E-R. It's N-G-E-R. Right. And it's like right in the middle of the thing. So nobody in marketing, nobody on the staff was like, hey, maybe we don't want stray niggers on the market.
feel like the older people I
It's just
know, like the
bad.
Gen Xers who saw that ad were like, what? Like, I think you guys are overreacting. And then all the like Gen Zs in my family were like, it's totally racist. She's talking about how white people are better. And I was like, I guess the Gen X, like you said, Ngaio, the Brooke Shields ad, that's what I thought of when I saw the ad. But I also thought, like, I don't get the whole Sydney Sweeney appeal. I never have.
But she's got blue eyes, Jenny.
Okay. There's like 20 girls that I saw at the mall yesterday who look who could be, I could have seen Sydney Sweeney 20 times yesterday.
Listen, let's not talk about how everybody wants to look exactly the same. I mean, people have always wanted to look kind of alike, right? People like to, at least fashion wise. But these days, man, if you work for Trump, you apparently need Botox and a facelift every single time to be a woman who works for Trump. It's just weird. What do they call it? Mar-a-Lago face?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's terrifying.
Terrifying.
I don't know if everyone wants to have that standard because Guess just did an ad in Vogue and people are canceling their Vogue subscriptions. They are mad.
AI.
Way ahead of you.
The model is an AI model, and so they used AI to create the perfect model for this ad, for this Guess ad. And I looked at it. Her body is really out of proportion. She looks really like from the neck down, but she's got the fair skin, the blue eyes, the blonde hair, and people are mad. They're canceling their Vogue subscriptions over an ad that Guess put in because they said, Vogue should have known better. That
they should have.
Like an attack on diversity. This is an attack on art and creativity. And what do you guys think about AI models being used? I'm just tired of creative people losing their jobs, you know?
I like people.
Yeah.
I'm a people guy. I like real.
I think it's hard because it's not going anywhere.
No,
before it gets better. And I agree. You know, but man, it's here to stay. And it's just gonna, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird because the new art is going to be, well, I know how to talk to the computer to create beautiful and vivid images, right? Because, you know, you can't just be like, hot chick in a Ferrari selling me beer. You're not going to get a great AI model, but you have to be like, it's a sun-swept beach.
On one hand, 12 fingers on the other hand.
Right,
like this.
right.
But
if
when AI
you can really describe it, if you're a computer whisperer.
Yeah. But when the AI becomes the computer whisperer, then we're fucked. Excuse me.
Listen, we're just waiting for Skynet to become self-actualized.
I mean, I think that like AI can never replicate what we have inside of us that brings out that beauty and that creativity, and that even though this was created by man and it could destroy man, I think people were always long for something original and new, and AI can't provide that. Everything it creates is pulling stuff that already exists and regurgitating it, right?
Yeah.
Flaws. I think that, you know, people like flaws. It makes someone interesting. Yeah.
I don't like my flaws. Okay, I do.
I like your flaws.
I like your flaws. I think we're all in agreement here.
I'm about to unhinge my flaws.
What? Can I ask you guys what's a flaw?
I know.
It's something you have like before you, from like age 2 to age 45, you have them, and then at 45, you're like, I'm tired. I don't care.
Log in about it.
Jim Farrell, never broke, don't have to fix it.
Nobody wants to.
I don't know, but my cousin's husband was saying that kids are a little too sensitive and they look for the outrage and everything, and that's why they were so outraged by the AI model and by the Sydney Sweeney ad, and that as Gen X we're a little more desensitized to it.
I think they have a point though, because we can't let this little shit slide right now. I mean, a lot of listen, my kids are Gen Z, 26 and 24. And sometimes I'm like, you guys are a little soft, right? But the point is we want our kids to be a little softer than us. You don't want kids to have to thug it out, or you know what I mean? To be super hard and uncaring and cruel, right? Dog, I had a lot of my sensitivity beat out of me because I had to fight kids for being a nerd.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen. We want people to be open-minded and to think about these things. And so I'm inclined to agree with them on this one.
I don't
You know
know.
what I mean?
I love that Gen Z show up and fight for what's right.
Yeah.
A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. And I don't think they get enough credit for it. And I think I see a lot of online, like a lot of boomers who think that they're lazy and they're this and that. And maybe it's the Gen Z stare. I don't know. Have you guys experienced this Gen Z stare at
What's
all?
the Gen Z stare?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's when you ask someone who's Gen Z a question and they just stare blankly at you and don't answer. I got it from my niece. Like this is the problem with Gen Z. Like they're doing everything through an app and they have the worst. They have a hard time with interaction. And we wanted Starbucks. We were on a road trip and she started to get on her app to order it. I was like, oh, go in and get a Starbucks. And I gave her money and she was like, oh, okay, well, what do you guys want? And she was going to order it on the app. I'm like, no. Go in and
go talk to the person.
And she was like, I don't want to do that. I have to talk to them. And I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
And she started crying.
Oh my God, that's anxiety.
That's the anxiety of what they're inheriting, don't you think?
My only beef with the Gen Z.
Yeah, there are a whole class of people in Japan who do this thing. Have decided they're never going to leave their room.
Good Lord.
China, well.
Yeah, and they just stay in their room and they play video games and they don't talk to people and their parents take care of them and that's it and that's their life and the idea of and when I had it explained to me that it was like one of the things of like, you know, like you're going to go out and maybe talk to someone and get a date or anything. Well, they can't do that because the idea if I leave my room, then someone might disagree with me or reject me and then I won't think as highly of myself. So stay in the room. And wow.
I think it's inherited because, you know, as much as you say she wanted to put the order on the app and not talk to somebody, I'm the opposite. Somebody goes, order me coffee, but do it on the app. I start crying.
Yeah.
And I got no idea how that works.
Right.
You know,
Taco Bell on my app because I need the rewards points, but that's about it.
I do the apps like you and Ngaio for the rewards, but like I have a 6-year-old niece who now lives with me. I went from being like the fun childless auntie who was like, sucks to be you. I'm going to Paris. Good luck. I literally said that to my brother once. He called me complaining. I was like, okay, well, I got to go to the airport and go to Paris. And he was like,
sorry.
I don't know how old everybody here is, but I'm
33.
How much? How old?
33.
33. Perfect. Yeah. I was going to say 32.
I'm forever young.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Loretta Young.
But
I'm one of the endless.
Are you dream or delirium?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm actually a boomer. I was born in 63, so I'm one of the last.
You are?
What, 62, born in 63. But what was killing me is when I was working with all these kids. I don't know if they were Gen X, Gen Z. I don't know the difference, but they were making fun of boomers. And I heard them saying, I'm going, what are you guys talking about? You keep referring to boomers. I go, oh, boomers, that's an insult.
The okay boomer.
Okay boomer. And I had no idea what it was because, well, I'm a boomer. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. I'm just like, so I have become what people make fun of.
A little bit.
It's because we don't know screens and stuff, right? Is that the whole?
Yeah.
And you guys refuse to leave the Supreme Court or Congress when you're 75 years old and well past retirement age to let somebody else get in. And couple that with the fact that you don't know how to use screens and you're a little anxious about new technology, you end up with a bunch of weird laws because you don't know anything and you let the lobbyists talk to you. My only problem with Gen Z is they don't know how to make change. If it's 1333 and you give them $20, they have to they just stare at you and then they press it in the machine. You're like, it's 669 change. They're like, how did you do that? Like, my dad would kill me if I didn't know how much change I was supposed to get back. What do you mean how did I do that? You just do it in your head because you've been handling money since you were little.
Yeah.
But I guess not. They just send you the app.
I've been seeing a lot of people online blaming Gen Z for the election results, blaming them for all these problems. And in my mind, I'm like, look, these kids, first of all, a lot of these Gen Z kids had to deal with COVID. Like my niece who's 6, she didn't see, she was born in 2019, right?
Oh, yeah.
She didn't even really see anyone's face as she was a toddler until COVID was over. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to be so socially awkward. Thank God she like inherited the like, yay, I'm everybody's friend gene from my family. But like, she's dealt with COVID. She's dealt with like the stress of all these different things being projected onto her. There's their future, the climate crisis, all these things that they're inheriting. They can't afford homes. They can't afford.
How many recessions has Gen Z been through?
And everyone's saying it's their fault for the stuff they're inheriting. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Some of it. Definitely some of it, right?
There's definitely some Gen Z oligarchs, right? These guys who think that monopolies are the best way to do things, that you always have to corner the market. You don't leave any space for anything. Enough is never enough. This is one of the things we don't teach in America. We don't teach that, hey, man, you made $3 billion. F off to an island somewhere and enjoy yourself. Yeah. No, now you have to make $30 billion, right? Now you have to make $10 billion. This is not sustainable. All these private equity companies buying up all the housing and making everything artificially expensive so that no one else can buy a house, so that no one else can generate or can take advantage of the tax laws for being a homeowner, all these sort of things. Rent. Listen, I was just in Hickman, Nebraska, and they wanted $700 a month for a one studio room in a place that used to be a shitty hotel in Hickman, Nebraska. Bro, wow. I'm not paying. Come on, man. And I'm not being an old guy. You know what I mean? When I lived in San Francisco, my rent was $800 a month and I had a fancy flat in the Mission District or whatever. But that's a lot. You're supposed to move to small towns because shit is crazy cheap. Not inexpensive, but like cheap. That's why you move out there, to work on the farm and be cheap. And
isn't every town in Nebraska Hickman?
Except for Omaha and Lincoln, you're probably right.
I don't think I've ever been in.
Yeah, that was my question. I was like, what's your high school mascot? The Hicks? The Hickman Hicks? Please welcome the Lady Hicks.
You can get a 2-bedroom apartment in Carcassonne, France, which is near Toulouse, 20 minutes from the beach for €600 a month.
See what I'm saying?
I'll see you there.
Yeah. I've been doing my research.
Merci beaucoup. Right. I mean, listen, France has its own problems with some racism.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
that's a different piece.
When I was in Paris, I could not get a single Arab or white cab driver to stop for me because the Uber app was like so overwhelmed you couldn't get an Uber. So I walked like 10 miles a day. And I got an African cab driver to stop for me. And I speak French fluently. So I'm like, yo, why aren't they stopping for me? And he's like, oh, they're racist. Like, he was like, racism.
Okay.
La racism. Yeah. Le racisme.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. But I mean, if I can drink wine and buy nice clothes while people are being racist towards me, I'm
it makes it easier.
There's got to be something to balance it out.
Yeah. If I can get good bread and cheese while dealing with this racism, I'll be okay.
So, again, you were talking about the money thing is ridiculous, and the amount of money that a very small percentage of the people is obviously something everybody's aware of. But I think at some point there's going to be a tipping point where it's not Democrats versus Republicans, it's the rich versus the poor. And
they're using the racism and the sexism to keep that as far away as possible.
Yeah, but I think at some point, I don't think the middle class is ever going to, gain any ground until there's a civil war or, something very
sort of uprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they tried these things, right? There was Occupy Wall Street. There was the Black Lives Matter movement. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of the young activists from BLM sort of ended up dead under weird circumstances for a while. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was kind of bizarre. Fred Hampton-ish. So it's just one of those things, man. It's hard to be subversive these days.
Friends with one of the founders of BLM, and she's told me about the threats that she's gotten.
Yeah.
And
and
I remember when we were doing our hunger strike to get rid of the chief of police in San Francisco, we had some things happen where I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there is. I don't know if it's a deep state or if it's just like a more than
it's a gang.
state, but like they were doing, I did, however, get pulled over while we were doing the hunger strike. And they were like, oh, are you part of Frisco 5? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, just go. I don't want to deal with that stress.
Wow.
But
It's
I
a
was
lot of
the
paperwork.
news all the time, talking all the mess. So, but I think, I don't know, we'll wrap it up with this. I feel like right now is a breaking point, and that it's almost like a last hurrah of the racist and the powerful, and there's going to be something that just pushes the people over the edge. And
I sure hope so.
I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen in the next 6 months with our government?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't even call it, man. All my ideas never work because they're all full of positivity and love.
Yeah.
We can't have that right now. What if we just all chilled out, smoked a joint, and relaxed, and listened to some music and tried to get along with each other?
I think this country, like people in this country, were sold this whole idea of like that American independent, like revolutionary spirit. But when actually it's right now, while we're being challenged, people are like, it's like we're paralyzed. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think
because it comes with a cost, dog? Like me, myself, I'm an old school activist from way back, and I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm just afraid. Like I should write more about this. I should speak up more about this. I'm like, dog, I'm not trying to go to jail at 57, right? I'm trying to watch my kids. I'm trying to encourage grandchildren. I'm trying to hang out and get laid as many times as I can before I die. And I'm not really trying to go to jail for this bullshit that doesn't change. I heard an interview with Joan Baez one time, just a few years ago. And she was so cynical because she felt like they had worked so hard in the 60s and tried so hard to create positive change. And some of it happened, but not nearly enough. And then things starts backsliding, and I totally get it. And it's just tough. Like it just takes so long too, right? We were cannabis activists. I've been a cannabis activist since 1989, since 1990, right? And that took till 2012 till one state legalized it. Now it's moving along better.
Well, I don't think,
but that's still 20 something years.
Yeah, I don't think activism means like putting your body out in the streets and going to jail. There's lots
of
ways. There's lots of different ways. Like when we were doing activism, there were people doing different things. Like there was the person who was doing the logistics. There was the person who was willing to take the risk and go to jail. There was the person who was the legal defense. There was the person who managed the bail fund. Like there were all these different factors. You don't have to just throw your body out.
But that's the thing now. If you're doing the logistics, if you're doing the bail fund, they did this happened with Cop City in Atlanta. Now they try to pull you up on RICO, like you're a criminal conspiracy, right? Well, if you did the logistics for this protest, you're clearly a criminal and a conspirator, and they'll try to pull you up on that. So you can be arrested or have problems just for like trying to be an ancillary member of a positive activism movement. Right? It's not just the cats who jump in front of the police cars that are going to jail now. It's like they try to get everybody. They want to smash it all because they can't book any dissent. Listen, if we expected common sense and science to win the day, we'd be a lot better off, and I would be a lot less disillusioned.
Well, that's not now. That's always been like that. Matt, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's just like, they say justice is slow, and it really is. And it's very slow. And, and that's where my hope is that some of this will catch up and there'll be some kind of, win here that will maybe not turn it all around, but at least slow it down so we can, do a little bit more work. But that's the thing that I'm afraid of, is that it's just going to get to a place where it's just so overwhelmed. And now it's so far down the road that already I think it's, if it can turn around, it's going to take decades to get back to a place where I felt that we were actually making progress.
Jim, what do you think?
Well, I think that, there's a part of me that says, if this doesn't change anything, I don't know what will. But I also got a feeling people have been saying that for decades, if not, hundreds of years. So I just don't want this to become the new normal and everything's being normalized. And, Matt's talking about things taking time and going slow. Well, the problem is if it goes slow, the slower it goes, the more normal it becomes.
Right. Right.
So I think that's the problem is you almost need something that's more of an abrupt uprising, because if we're waiting on, neighborhood groups, city, I guess, I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Something that appalls.
Critical mass.
Something that appalls everyone.
Yeah.
That happens. It's so horrendous that it's like, no, we can't. We're not these people.
Well, what is that going to be? Because children have been shooting people right now are dying in detention centers and being served food with maggots. There was just a story revealed today that these ICE agents are trafficking the children they're grabbing up. We don't know what that's going to look like, right? And I mean, for me, I'm constantly like, I want to burn it all down, but then I also like nice things. So how can I have both, right? So how can I have like a cute outfit? How can I look cute in my outfit while burning it all down? Is basically where I am in life.
Highlight your cheeks and wear comfortable shoes.
Oh no, you can't wear comfortable shoes.
You have to wear comfortable shoes. Absolutely. You might have to run from the police.
It has whatever works for the outfit.
If I could weigh in, I don't think anything could wreck this. You got it all. And so what doesn't matter the shoes, you wear the shoes, they don't wear you.
Fair enough. Right? Fair enough.
I learned that from Carrie Bradshaw.
We've learned so much from that.
Sex and the City Guide to Positive Revolution in the Streets.
On that note.
Well, you guys, this has been so great. I really appreciate you all, but we've run out of time. So I want you to please let everybody know, Jim, what do you have going on? Where can people catch up with you and find out what you're doing?
Well, right now I just got a couple gigs. I'm getting back into comedy after about a 20-year hiatus. I'm going to be at Michael David Winery down in Lodi on Saturday, and I got some other things a little bit further down the road that probably aren't quite worth mentioning. I got a storytelling class that I'm doing in a few weeks. So yeah, just staying busy, staying creative, and doing my thing.
Cool. Matt, where can we catch up with you? What have you got going on?
I am one of the hosts of the Monster Party podcast, where we talk about horror and science fiction, fantasy, comic books, all the stuff that I know Ngaio loves, and we got to get you on
your podcast.
Yeah, we got to do it, and we will. But yeah, I do it with my friends, and we just celebrated our 300th episode. And these are long episodes, so it was quite an undertaking. But we've had people from movies and comic books and comedians, and so it's a lot of fun. So you can find it wherever good podcasts are found.
Awesome! I'm definitely check that out. That's right up my alley. I like to listen to and watch that kind of stuff. I
think you will enjoy it.
Yeah. And Ngaio, what you got going on?
I'm going to be on the Monsters podcast sometime this fall.
Yes.
Also in August, my daughter is going to graduate with her master's from Smith, I think it is. And then I'm going to be in St. Louis. We're doing a flood benefit, cannabis-friendly flood benefit on the 21st, I think it is. And then on the 23rd, I'm hosting the Missouri Growers Cup at Doobie's Dispensary in Rolla, R-O-L-L-A, Rolla, Missouri, in August. So come on out. And find me on Instagram, NGAIO420.
Well, thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
We could go on all day, but this is great. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Jim Farrell, Matt Weinhold, and Ngaio Bealum. I am Yayni Abeba, your guest host for Headliners on the Headlines, and you can catch me on this channel, dropping content, and follow me on Substack. I have a weekly commentary show that's going to be launching next week. And if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. If you're on any platform, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about us. Love y'all. Thanks for participating.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate being part of it.